You know what freedom actually is? Freedom is our capacity to solve all of our own problems. Any one of those problems you can't solve for yourself is to the degree you aren't free. Then you need to find out how to solve that problem for yourself. When you can do that, you don't need to ask permission from any man, woman, or child. The third stage. Hey, this is a motherfucker, because this is the hardest one. You see, you can be emotionally attached to the shit that you were programmed with, and you got rid of it and you beat it and you say, yeah, piece of piss. I always knew it was a lie. My spirit was resisting the whole time. It's just that I did it long enough. This is the kicker. There are people in your life that you love. They are not fit for purpose where you are going. My grandfather used to say, no good, sir. No good, sir. You will see how many times you have forgiven them and the character remains the same, and they come right back round and do the same historic shit they've always done. Part of going inside and being by yourself is to learn to love your own company. It's okay to be by yourself. And you're going to have to part ways with these people. And you're going to have to part ways permanently. That's going to hurt you to make that decision, because it's like cutting off an arm or a leg. A friend, a family member, a lover. This is hard shit to do. But ultimately, you will not be able to accomplish your purpose with these people in tow. So the things you've got to get rid of after exercising the demons in the basement are the people, processes, places, and habits that don't serve you. Your life will only go on an upward trajectory. And you see, the key, like money, it's not to get on the train and then have to get off the train. We are now talking about getting on the train and sustaining the train journey. This is why you have to get rid of the people, processes, habits, and places that don't serve you. So, you'll see people make it who ground as hard as they could intentionally, and then they'll move from a space. It's because they know it doesn't serve them. So now let's take the article Sigma, Nipsey Hussle. He was the avatar of a Sigma. He created his own value, did something unquestionable when he made a $100 CD, and then got Hove to buy one. And then that news got out and he sold a phone. Unquestionable, right? What gives you the audacity to sell your CD for $100? Who the fuck are you? I'm Nip. I'm doing it different because I read a book. You see, he got the information. That wasn't power. You see, the wisdom was in the executing of the information. Then what did he do? He kept his people on his back, where he used to hustle and got arrested and was told by landlords that he couldn't even rent. He advanced himself to the position to purchase it. And when he purchased it, he brought in the army of people that he loved and he had. He met Lauren London, who had a child by another artist. Did he care what people thought? No, because he met his soulmate. And he embraced her and the child. And he had his people on his back. And he built a space that Apple didn't have, a tech store, to the level that he built with Idris Sandu. He saw a kid in a Starbucks on his laptop, and his natural curiosity said, "Who are you and what do you do?" He eliminated the characteristics from his life that didn't work. He didn't do one thing. He didn't eliminate the places that were no longer for him, the environments that made him vulnerable. And that man did everything he was supposed to do before he was murdered. And he was murdered because he wouldn't remove himself from the environment that didn't serve him. So yes, you know, it makes for the stuff of legends that he carried his people on his back. He married this woman. It was a great short love story, but he's not here. And as a byproduct of him not being here, his brother's not the same. And if Black Sam's not the same, that means they can't carry the people on their back. And that means the whole thing falls down because of one man. You are that one man. So you are obligated to yourself to remove the people, places, processes, and routines that don't work for you. Because they're not going to suit your next incarnation at the level that you want to operate at. And you're going to have to be mercenary with this fucker now. When I say mercenary, you're going to have to look at them and imagine if your child was on a raft, which your purpose is it your child or them? Unfortunately, it's got to be them. They got to go. And there are places that you have enjoyed in your life that never really served you. You were only there as a matter of circumstance, not by design. Those spaces got to go. I've done it. I've been through it. It's painful. There's people you could love that you imagine being with for the rest of your life. They got to go. They never served you one day. They just do certain things that are fuckery and it's not going to change. And that's the only way I can put it. It's just fuckery. And were you observing it in someone else? There's no way that you would recommend that they maintain that relationship. So in this new phase of your evolution and self-preservation, you are now going to wipe the decks clean of everything and everyone that does not sit and bode well with your purpose and where you're going. And it sounds very easy for me to say, is much harder to do, and it's very painful. However, when you come through that, you are going to know that you're a better person for it. And just because you let people go doesn't mean you don't love them. And it doesn't mean that you won't be able to enable them. However, you won't be able to operate at the level you are seeking to operate at with the peace in your chest to become a free man who solves all of his own problems with them in tow because they will sabotage your shit. I wish I could stress enough how important this part is and that you don't get to avoid anything. Like I say, there's no elevator to this route. I mean, you got to take the stairs. And when you take the stairs, you get strong. You become very robust. And when you become robust, you become very protective of what you've accomplished. And you won't be willing to let that go, not for anybody. And when you arrive in that place, you'll know that you are now ready to serve in exactly the way that you envisaged when you used your imagination to make contact with the etheric realm and bring it back to our material plane. What you didn't envisage on that journey was everything and everyone you would have to sacrifice and lose to maintain it. Because there's no point in visiting a castle for a day and feeling like a king if you can't remain. Where you're going, you're not just going to visit. You're going to touch down and stay. And as our mothers and fathers used to say, you are the company you keep. And the company you keep in at this juncture, that you'll hear people say day two friends, are the ones who are intentional and as intentional as you and desire to accomplish very similar prospects as you. This is where you're going to find your partners, where you make multi-million-pound entities. And it's not about the money. It's about the importance of what you're going to do to free your family after you. Your job is to make your last name better. I remember the first time somebody said that to me. Your job is to make the name Okai better. Because I was talking about my uncles and my cousins all having custodial sentences. I said, I could never get a bird because my name is fucked. They set a plan for me because they keep records on these things like families and names. Now, if your name is Smith, that's cool. Okay, it's a little bit more unusual. They set a plan for you. And that plan could involve medication or anything else that they deem fit. So when she said that to me, like being shot in the forehead with a diamond bullet, I had clarity about my purpose. My job is to make my surname better, and indeed my name, Dean Okai, for my son. The door's already open. So this next phase is going to be hard, and it's going to require recovery. It's going to require you to forgive yourself for things that you haven't done previously, and also for what you're doing now, because there will be guilt attached, but guilt is only human monkey chat fucking with you. And it's natural. Just like all of the obstacles that we go through in life and feel alone, they're all normal. It's just that we aren't taught that they are inevitably going to buck us when we're on a particular road. And we aren't taught that it's normal. I want you to get normalcy from everything I'm saying, even down to becoming clairvoyant. It is all normal based on your comprehension. It's just that you can't comprehend yet because you've been so attached to this programming you were given. Well, now we're applying the antivirus. All viruses have to leave the CPU, but your CPU is going to be the sharpest CPU in any environment based on how robust you've become just from coming from the tiles.
As Sigmas, we uphold, promote, and preserve our values.